Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As you know, there's some footage of about 10 Russian soldiers unarmed being killed by Ukrainian troops, and the Russians the Russians notified the United Nations and regarding this, which is proven, which there's a problem. Nobody will prove it because nobody's gonna stand trial. So even the United Nations said that they will investigate this and all that. Well, the Ukrainians came and already said that one of the Russian prisoners came out of that house when he was surrendering, armed and trying to shoot them or something like that. But okay, that's one person. What about the 10 that were unarmed? Why did you kill those ones? Anyway, I'm not here the prosecutor, not here the judge. I'm just saying, trying to set the stage of if you're not familiar with the issue. So about 10, 11 Russians came out of the house. Ukrainians, got him out, and one of the Russians, when he came out, tried to shoot them or something. Then the Ukrainians killed that guy. It's not on camera yet. And then after that, it's another footage from a drone, I think, with Russians killed. The prisoners, unarmed prisoners killed, and probably the one that was armed already done. Now the Russians, based on this footage, say this is a war crime, and those guys should be prosecuted. Now the Ukrainians say, wait a minute, the guy came out with a weapon and tried to shoot us. Okay, well, that's one. What about the other ones? We don't do Old Testament style collective punishment, do we? Or a Palestinian kind of collective punishment like the Israelis do over there. You remember, if your son throws a few rocks at my military, I'm gonna bulldoze your whole house with your whole family, not only you, the whole thing. So that's kind of like we don't have that. We didn't have to we didn't used to have that, but it seems like we're turning into that kind of society. Anyway, I don't know. This is not gonna be any trials on this. I almost guarantee you. So the Russians said, we will hunt these guys down. That means we're gonna try to, identify them and then kill them without trial, probably. I don't know if they're gonna try to hunt them down, as I said, or they're just gonna identify them and provide information to, I don't know, United Nations or to their prosecutors and try to prosecute these guys. But I think the first option is what these guys are talking about. Here, this article from Sputnik from today, the 21st of November 2022, has the headline, Russia to search for killers of Russian prisoners of war on its own, Kremlin states. So that's what Dmitry Peskov said on Monday, which is today. On Friday, the Russian Defense Ministry said that the Ukrainian military had deliberately killed more than 10 captured Russian servicemen, shooting them in the head at point blank. Well, if you shoot someone like this, like execution style, that's not they were rebellious or they attacked you. That means you shot them willy-nilly over there. We don't want you, we don't like you or something. Boom, we're gonna eliminate you. And I'm quoting here Mr. Peskov. Of course, Russia will search for those who committed this crime on its own. They must be found and punished. End quote. Russia is ready for an international investigation into the murder of Russian prisoner if there is hope for the probe's effectiveness. Otherwise, it makes no sense, the official added. Earlier on Monday, the New York Times has confirmed that videos circulating online of more than 10 Russian prisoners of war, POWs, getting executed by Ukrainians were filmed in the village of Makeyevka at the time of its recapture by the Ukrainian forces. United Nations calls for full investigation into reports of Russian prisoners of war killed in Ukraine. The Russian Investigative Committee opened a criminal investigation on Friday into the execution of Russian POWs by the Ukrainian military. The committee said that Russian military investigators were also taking measures to identify individuals who captured the footage of the execution. United Nations spokesperson Farhan Haq said on Friday that the United Nations was calling for a full investigation of all reported human rights violations in the context of more than 10 brutally executed Russian POWs by the Ukrainian side. Russia has sent a letter to United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the issue of inhumane treatment of Russian POW by Ukraine and asked the top official to circulate it as an official document of the UN Security Council and General Assembly. Well, I do not. I hope that the investigations will not stop only, or will be only unidirectional, which means from the Russian side or only from the Ukrainian side. I think if United Nations tries to, and I don't think it tries to keep its credibility, which I think is definitely tarnished since its inception, but that's my assessment. But the facts, evidence shows that. Why? They have no teeth unless the big boss agrees to, and that is that is because a lot of resolutions that were voted in the General Assembly, for instance, did not have any power to change anything when certain kind of players were involved. When other states were involved, yes, they were held to the letter of the law and they were punished, sanctioned, and all in anything invaded, regime changed legally, and so on. Legal regime change by direct intervention. But other countries that have power and influence were not held to the same standards. So in this case, if United Nations will not do anything and it doesn't have the power, what are they going to do? They don't have military, they don't have, an how should I put it, secret service arm or security service arms to go and catch these guys. Will not do anything, will not succeed on doing anything because the guys will block it. The guys is whomever has the interest, which is supporters of either side. The Ukrainians also said that they will do the same thing. They said this when it was another incident. I don't remember. I think it was Bucha, the one in Kiev's area. The same they say. The Ukrainians said they will hunt those down. And they said on multiple occasions, they being the Ukrainians, that they will hunt the Russians down, that they have evidence of this and that crime and that crime. Well, as always, I hope that people guilty of crimes, but guilty means proven guilty, should be punished. But it's a long way to achieve that, which is, make sure that you gather all evidence. You allow the accused to state his case and, have an impartial, an international, not a Nuremberg international. I'm not talking about the Nuremberg trials, international, prosecution and judges and all that. I'm talking about a real one, which, as we are humans, I don't think we will achieve, but the best that we can, and then find the truth and dispense punishment or justice according to the evidence that you present. That's, I think, should be done on this case too. But don't hold your breath. The Ukrainians already provided their side of the story, and nobody's going to pass anyone to anyone. Nobody's going to say, yeah, you go and you're going to be, in court at Hague or whenever. They will protect their boys unless you lose. And when you lose, they will make sure that justice is dispensed. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.